Hello. Did you ever think about making a podcast? You have. Let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need right in one place. And it's free, which you can use right from your phone or your computer. The creative tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They help you distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, such as on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimal listenership. Now, what do that mean? It means that you don't need to have a large following, not just yet, to get started. You can start off with, like I said, with no or minimal listenership. How do you get started? Well, that's easy. The only thing you have to do is go to your Apple Store or your Google Play Store, or even better, you can go online at anchor.fm to get started right now. Welcome to another edition of Building Healthy Relationships with Ty Pratt. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you everyone that tunes in and that is listening. I definitely appreciate everything, but let's just start off with the topic. Today, we'll be talking about intimacy. Now, when you hear that, I'm pretty sure the first thought in your mind is sex. Off rip, just intercourse, sex. But let me just say this, there's so many types of intimacy, such as emotion, intellectual, spiritual, and obviously physical. But I'm not going to talk about the emotional or even the intellectual or spiritual today. I would just be talking about the physical. Okay. Now, I want to read this to y'all because this is the definition of what intimacy is. Now, intimacy is defined as mental, emotional, or physical closeness, such as a person remarks, a warm or familiar setting, or detailed knowledge about the subject. Okay, the close relationship you have with your spouse. Sorry about that. When you can share everything together. Okay, so as you heard, there's no sex in that whole entire statement. Okay, it is just the mental, emotionally, physical closeness. Okay, that's basically what it is. Closeness. I just want to just be clear with that real quick because what I'm about to talk about, I am going to talk about sex. So before I even dive in, I want to say this real quick. If there's any young kids that's actually listening to this, please, by all means, turn this off because I will be talking about sex in pretty much detail. So I definitely want to be age appropriate. I am not gonna, change my words. I am gonna give it to y'all as give it to y'all. Sorry. I'm just gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to talk about the sex aspect in relationship because I feel like it is important. I mean, as you heard the definition, just to sum it up, is pretty much just the closeness to something. is the warmth, is the familiarity of something, or just having detailed knowledge of something. So if we are in our relationship at this point in time and we are not looking at sex as being close or being intimate, what are we doing? Okay. This is another form of pretty much communication. If there's lack of sex in the relationship, I mean, listen, I get it. If y'all got kids, if y'all working 9 to 5, if whatever obstacle, quote unquote, and I kind of wish I had the camera on me right now so you can see the quotations that I'm putting up, but you can definitely hear it in my voice because it's a load of bullshit that a lot of people say that they are too busy to have sex. Listen, you never too busy to have sex. There's so many different ways to have sex, man. You don't have to think about sex as intercourse. There's oral sex, there's anal sex, there's role playing. I mean, shit, at this point, pretty much you can have a nice sexual, intellectual conversation with somebody, and that can get you off. At this point, it can be anything. It's just the closeness to somebody, and I feel like when we get into this relationship in the beginning, like obviously the intimacy level is sky high. Like you can't keep your hands off each other. But as y'all get comfortable, then what happens? It starts to die down. Then you start getting to this little rat race of, this workforce. And you start believing that, because everybody else is doing it, that your relationship and sex-wise is supposed to die down. I don't know about y'all, but I make a joke all the time. Before I stop having sex, I better be dead in the ground. Because there's nothing that I am doing currently in my work and my personal life that will ever stand in the way of me having an intimate relationship with my partner. And I don't mean just intercourse. I mean everything about closeness. Okay? That's what it is, people. And again, if you're that type of person that's kind of feel uncomfortable hearing or even talking about sex, this episode is not for you, because as you can tell, I am not shy on talking about sex, because in all reality, we all do it. If you got kids, this might sound weird, but guess what? You have sex. Oh my God, that's a shocker. Not for nothing, you was born through sex. That's a shocker too, but not to put some nasty thoughts in your head about your parents, but let's just move on. But the intimacy, I really feel like it dies down in a relationship. And oh my God, definitely this one right here. When people get married, they say all the time, oh, don't worry, it is normal for the sex level to die down. Says who? Like shit. If I get married and when we say I do, now I know this is going to sound funny to people, like I'm sorry, but I'm trying to, make jokes about this so it's not too serious. But if I have easy access to my partner every single day, why not take advantage of it? And vice versa. Like shit, your partner should take advantage of you in every sense of the word. Whenever your partner needs it, they should run their ass home and say, matter of fact, screw that. Text you, call you on the way home and say, you better be buck-ass naked waiting for me. Have fun with it, people. Like, seriously, try not to make it awkward and, confusing. Like, sex is this natural, beautiful thing. And again, like I said before, there's so many different ways of having an intimate time with your partner. It don't necessarily have to be intercourse. There's anal, yes, that is a form of intercourse, but, there's anal, there's oral, there's role playing. There's, honestly, some people get off just by basically reading a book. Some people get off watching porn together. Whatever y'all need to do to create that form of intimacy, please Take heed to it. And this is important too. I don't know why people or some people are afraid to talk about sex with their partner. Like, wouldn't you want your partner to be everything to you in bed? Like, that's the whole point. Like, I feel like if your partner is doing everything that they can possibly can do to satisfy you, you would never want to go outside. And that's a metaphor. I'm meaning you would never want to seek anything else elsewhere from anybody else. If your partner is doing everything in their power to make you feel sexually stimulated, sexually aroused, and just feel good overall, then you got nothing to complain. But now, on the other side of the, basic token, if you don't have that, then yes, I can understand. I can understand why there is a lack, or if you're in a relationship that sex sucks, or the person is not listening to your every needs, and you are trying to be more engaging and trying to bring back the intimacy in your relationship, but your partner just not on board. Now, you got two options. And these two options is not to cheat. So hear me clearly. You can leave the relationship, or you can stay and put up with it. It's totally up to you. If sex is that important to you that y'all have to connect on that level, and if it's not working, then you have a choice. You can stay and try to find comfort in something else that your partner is doing, or you can leave and find what you are looking for. It is okay to leave a situation or your partner if you are not sexually being stimulated and fulfilled. I'm not talking about marriage, people. Okay? I'm not talking about marriage, because I know a lot of people be like, oh, I'm not leaving my partner, that we've been together for 20 years. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about marriage. Now, if you are married and if you having issues in the bedroom, then guess what? Y'all need to, whatever y'all doing as a distraction, because that's basically what it is. You are filling your time up with everything else other than each other. Y'all need to figure out what is a distraction. And this might be an eye-opener, but guess what? Your kids can be a distraction. You don't need to spend every fucking moment catering to your kids. And I'm sorry if that was harsh, but your kids won't be here or wouldn't be here if y'all didn't have that intimate relation. Like, I'm pretty sure that and this is for the people that's having a hard time in their relationship, married or not married. If you're having a hard time trying to get back to that state of mind of where y'all have that pure bliss of just love and affection and everything about your partner just turns you on, listen, take a vacation. Like, try to get away from the day-to-day rat race, the day-to-day responsibilities of the household. Just try to have a couple, not night, but a couple day or weekend, 2 to 3 days, maybe even a week. So y'all can reconnect on a whole nother level without any type of responsibilities that is drawing y'all to it. Okay? Can take time for each other. Again, intimacy, there's so many different ways. I already said it. I'm not going to repeat myself again on the different ways of saying it or basically doing it. But if there's a lack in sex, you got to figure out where's the lack, or where it's lacking at. Okay? Because a lot of relationships fail because of sex. Because sex leads to, being unhappy. And being unhappy, then you go, search elsewhere. And I'm sorry, but that is the harsh reality. I mean, some people might even suppress the whole intimacy and stick with their partner, because of kids or whatever the case may be. But once that connection that they was holding on to you or to is gone, please believe it. Your partner will leave. They will get a divorce. Because whatever that was holding y'all together, if that shit's not there, guess what? That person's going bye-bye. That's why the connection should be each other above all things. And yes, guess what? Intimacy, it creates that. You need that time to connect with your partner. You need that, people. Okay? So, like always, I want to say thank you for listening. By all means, if you think somebody needs to hear this one, share it, like it, comment, send me some feedback. I like to hear from y'all. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe so you can actually get the notification when I post or upload a new episode. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.